Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are diving headfirst into a topic that, well, it crosses almost everyone's mind as vacation days approach or, the festive season looms.
Hmm.
It's that perennial holiday fitness conundrum, that classic balancing act, right?
Yeah.
How do you truly relax, maybe indulge a little, without feeling like you're completely erasing all that hard work you've put in?
Yeah, absolutely. That feeling of, am I losing everything?
Mm,
It's a tension so many of us feel.
exactly.
And thankfully, for this deep dive, we have a fantastic source. It gives us some really grounded, evidence-based insights into navigating exactly that dilemma.
Oh, good. What are we looking at?
We've been working with an in-depth article from Sundried.com, specifically titled Holiday Fitness, Maintain Gains, and Top 10 Tips for Keeping Fit Sundried.
Sundried.com, okay.
Yeah, and it's packed with information that kind of cuts through the guilt and gives you practical strategies. Really useful stuff.
Perfect. So our mission today, really, is to explore the core insights from this sundried.com article. We're going to look at their practical tips for deciding how active to be or perhaps not to be in a structured sense while you're away.
Mhm.
We'll peel back the layers on what science says happens to your body when you deliberately take a break, understanding that process they call detraining.
Right.
And then we'll get to the really encouraging part. Your body's impressive capacity to bounce back once the holiday is over, thanks to something we often call muscle memory.
Exactly. And our goal for you, the listener, is to equip you with the knowledge from this source material so you can make really informed, stress-free decisions about your fitness and overall well-being during your well-deserved time off.
Yeah, no unnecessary guilt, just clear understanding. That sounds good.
That's the plan.
And I promise we're going to uncover some seriously surprising facts from this sundry.com piece.
Right.
Like just how rapidly certain physiological changes kick off at the cellular level. Honestly, that detail was quite a wake-up call for me.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty striking.
But also, on the flip side, how incredibly resilient your body truly is, especially when it comes to shorter breaks. It's not nearly as fragile as you might fear.
Precisely. Your body's tougher than you think sometimes.
Okay.
And the fundamental question that the Sundried.com article confronts right away is the big one. To train with structure or not to train with structure when you're on holiday.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we start?
Well, the article begins by framing that very real conflict most active people feel. It's that strong desire for a proper break, a chance to relax, maybe enjoy different food and drink,
Mm-hmm.
clashing directly with the commitment you have to the consistent routine you've built.
Mm.
The article wisely points out, look, this is a deeply personal choice. There's no single right answer. It really depends on your goals for the holiday itself.
Right, and the article does a great job laying out the compelling benefits if you do choose to incorporate some exercise, even if it's modified. It's not just about stopping fitness loss, it's about actually making the holiday better.
Exactly. The source highlights several perks that go beyond just, physical gains.
Yeah.
Let's dive into some of those.
Okay, so a big one they mention is physical and mental well-being. We all kind of know exercise is a fantastic stress buster, right?
Definitely.
And let's be honest, holidays, while fun, can also bring extra demands, travel stress, family stuff, social things, getting everything done before you leave.
Oh, yeah.
So exercise is a powerful tool here. The article brings up how physical activity releases endorphins, those natural mood elevators that, boost your state of mind, help you feel calmer, more focused.
Yes, and they reference the Mayo Clinic, pointing out that pretty much any form of exercise, from intense stuff to, say, yoga, can significantly ease stress.
Right.
And this buildup of resilience, both mental and emotional, really contributes to a much more enjoyable holiday. Makes you less likely to feel overwhelmed by, festive chaos or travel problems. It's a mental health tool, not just physical.
That makes sense. And related to that, there's the point about combating that sort of holiday sluggishness and actually boosting energy. It sounds weird. Spend energy to get energy.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive.
But the science explained in the article backs it up. They bring in insights from Harvard Health Publishing, explaining that physical activity encourages your muscle cells to produce more mitochondria.
Ah, the powerhouses.
Exactly, the cellular powerhouses. So, as the article points out, more mitochondria mean more efficient energy production deep down. Plus, exercise improves blood flow, gets oxygen around better, triggers those endorphins, all leading to a natural energy surge. This helps you actually do the holiday stuff, sightseeing, playing with the kids, staying up, talking without feeling totally wiped out by lunchtime.
Yeah, it helps you engage more fully. And what I particularly liked was how the Sundried.com article linked exercise to enjoying those festive treats or vacation meals without crippling guilt.
Oh, that's a big one for a lot of people.
It really is.
Yeah.
It explains how incorporating activity helps manage your overall calorie balance, giving you that flexibility to indulge occasionally without feeling like you've just wrecked everything.
Mm-hmm.
It significantly reduces that psychological burden many people feel around food during celebrations. Lets you actually savor those moments.
That's a much healthier way to look at it than earning your food.
Exactly. The article frames it as providing a metabolic buffer, offering flexibility. It helps you move away from that all-or-nothing thinking, which is often just stressful and unsustainable on holiday. Exercise gives you freedom within your energy balance.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, shifting slightly, let's talk about the argument for consistency and preventing what the article calls detraining.
Right, this is a fundamental point for maintaining some activity. The article stresses that holding onto your current fitness, or at least minimizing how much you lose, is considerably easier than trying to rebuild from zero after a break.
Yeah, getting back into it after stopping completely can feel really hard.
It really can, psychologically and physically. Holidays disrupt routine, and that makes restarting harder. And they make this point really powerfully by referencing a specific study from the Journal of Rehabilitation Medicine.
Oh yeah, what did that find?
This research showed that even a pretty short break, just 2 weeks from regular physical activity, can lead to measurable, significant losses in muscle mass and strength.
Wow, 2 weeks. That's not very long.
It's not. So that study really underlines the physical reality of detraining. By keeping up some consistent activity during holidays, even if it's minimal, you lessen how much detraining happens. The article argues even small efforts stop you feeling like you have to completely rebuild, which is a huge barrier for people post-holiday.
That's a strong case. I also found the me time and healthy family traditions points really compelling in the article. In a season often focused outwards on others, carving out time for activity can be invaluable me time, a moment for self-care just to recenter yourself amidst all the busyness. It anchors your own well-being.
Yeah, that dedicated time protects your healthy habits from just getting washed away. And the article illustrates really nicely how exercise can become a fun family bonding thing too.
Right, not just solo gym sessions.
Exactly. Think beyond structured workouts. Maybe a casual kickabout in the park, races on the beach, a family ski trip,
Yeah.
ice skating.
Yeah?
These activities build connection, create memories, establish positive traditions. It turns activity into connection, not a chore.
Okay, so that's a really strong case for staying active. But the Sundried.com article is very balanced, right? It also thoroughly explores the valid reasons for choosing to take a complete break from structured exercise.
Absolutely. It's not about making excuses. It's acknowledging legitimate reasons to pause. The article explicitly says, look, for many people, the main point of a holiday is complete relaxation and recharging.
Especially if your day-to-day is super stressful.
Exactly. Structuring workouts might feel like it's working against unwinding. For those people, the goal is disconnecting, and a workout schedule could actually detract from that feeling of freedom.
And the article also brings up avoiding overtraining. For some people, especially if they've been hitting it hard before the holiday, a break is actually a smart move against overtraining syndrome.
That's a really important point. Overtraining is a real physical and psychological state. Fatigue, performance drops, getting sick more easily.
Yeah, not good.
Not good at all. So the article frames a planned break, not as weakness, but as a clever strategic move. It lets the body and mind recover fully, potentially preventing burnout and breakdown long term.
Yeah.
Sometimes rest is the best training stimulus.
And time constraints are real too. Holiday schedules get packed. Travel, sightseeing, visiting people.
Yeah, the article is realistic about this. Trying to cram in a full workout can feel like just another stressor.
Right.
It might cut into valuable time exploring or just being with your companions. It's about honestly weighing the workout benefit against the cost to your actual holiday experience.
And finally, there's the risk of just plain overdoing it. Holidays often mean way more incidental activity than usual, walking all day, hiking, swimming, playing games.
That's a great point the article makes. It warns that adding structured workouts on top of all that increased incidental activity can lead to overexertion.
So you end up getting injured or just exhausted.
Right. You increase your risk of fatigue, soreness, maybe injury. The article reminds us your body needs rest from all exertion, not just the stuff you track. Those hours exploring museums still count and need recovery time.
Okay, so the article presents this clear dilemma, valid points on both sides. How then do you find that middle ground if you don't want to stop completely, but also don't want to be rigid? That's where the Sundried.com article offers those practical strategies, right?
Yes, exactly. The core idea from the Finding Your Balance section isn't about sticking to your gym plan religiously. It's about smart adaptation, integration,
Right.
finding ways to weave activity into the holiday so it enhances it, doesn't compete with it.
Yeah.
It means adjusting your mindset about what fitness looks like during that specific time.
And the article gives us those top 10 evidence-based tips to navigate this. Let's walk through some of those because they really nail this flexible integration idea.
Okay, tip 1 is prioritize movement, not just structured workouts. So this means actively choosing to explore on foot, maybe a beach run, a hike.
Getting out and about.
Exactly. And the article makes a key point. Even minimal, consistent effort through these kinds of activities significantly contributes to maintaining fitness and well-being. Make movement part of the fun.
Tip 2 is super practical for busy schedules. Embrace high-intensity interval training, HIIT.
Yeah, this is great. The article suggests when time is tight and holidays often are short, intense bursts are really effective. They even give a time frame. 20-30 minutes can give maximum impact, minimum time.
So you can get it done quickly and get on with your day.
Precisely. HIIT is metabolically demanding, helps maintain cardio and muscle activation, and you often don't need a gym. Efficient.
Tip 3 is simple but smart. Pack portable fitness gear, like resistance bands, a travel mat.
Don't underestimate these. They take up hardly any space, but let you do a workout pretty much anywhere. Hotel room, park. It removes that "I need a gym" barrier.
I really liked tip 4, integrate minimal effort strategies. This is about moving without needing a dedicated workout slot.
Yeah, this is clever. The article gives examples. Squats while waiting in line, stretching in doorways, a walk after dinner instead of collapsing on the sofa, swimming laps if there's water nearby.
Just grabbing those little opportunities.
Exactly. Every bit adds up. Makes activity feel less like an obligation, more like just part of your day.
Tip 5 is great for making it less of a chore. Make fitness social. Do stuff with your travel buddies.
Yeah, invite them for yoga, a group run, beach volleyball, whatever. Shared activities mean motivation, accountability, and it reframes exercise as connection and fun, not a solo task. Turns working out into playing together.
Love that. Now, tip 6 feels crucial for mental peace. Set realistic expectations and embrace detraining's minimal impact.
This is so important for reducing stress. The article reassures you. A short break, say a week or two, won't erase all your hard work. Okay, cellular stuff starts changing. We'll get to that.
Right.
But the article notes a 1-week break generally means minimal significant loss overall. And for strength and muscle, it's largely inconsequential.
That scientific backing helps you actually relax, doesn't it? Frees you from worrying constantly.
Totally. Lets you enjoy the downtime. Which leads nicely into tip 7. Listen to your body and prioritize recovery.
Right. Holidays are for unwinding.
Exactly. The article says if you're genuinely tired, run down, sick, it's okay, actually sensible, to skip a workout. Prioritizing rest can actively prevent overtraining. Rest isn't the enemy, it's vital. Taking a break when needed is smart training, not failure.
Tip 8 gives us a glimpse of the good news we'll discuss later. Understand muscle memory.
Yeah, the article reassures us here. Thanks to muscle memory, your body is remarkably good at regaining strength and size when you return. You will bounce back faster than you think.
Knowing that helps ease the anxiety about taking the break in the first place.
Definitely. The effort to regain is way less than the effort to build initially. Gives you confidence a break is just a pause, not a total reset.
Okay, tip 9 is a really critical safety point for the comeback. Factor in tendon elasticity for your return.
Yes. This is often overlooked, and the article highlights it. Tendons lose some elasticity during inactivity, unlike muscles with their great memory.
So when you get back,
You must gradually increase weight and intensity. Give your tendons time to regain their springiness. Rushing back with stiff tendons dramatically increases injury risk, like tears. Even if your muscles feel ready, your connective tissues might not be. Needs caution.
that's a super important practical tip. And
Yeah.
finally, tip 10 brings it all together. Embrace the mental benefits.
Right. The article highlights that short, planned breaks offer huge psychological pluses. They fight boredom, renew motivation, optimize long-term enjoyment, and sticking with it.
So view the holiday as a chance to refresh mind and body.
Exactly. It's holistic. Mental well-being is just as key as physical condition for long-term success. A calculated break prevents burnout, keeps you engaged for the long haul.
These tips from the Sundried.com article are so practical for during the holiday. Flexibility, smart adaptation, those minimal effort strategies. It's about adjusting goals, listening to your body, knowing Even small actions have psychological benefits. The article even mentioned setting reminders if you need that little nudge in a new place.
Absolutely, there's smart choices that respect the holiday but still support your goals.
Okay, so we've covered approaching fitness on holiday, but what actually happens scientifically if you do take that break? Let's get into the science of detraining that the Sundried.com article explains.
Right, so the article introduces and defines detraining. It's the partial or complete loss of the physiological adaptations you've gained happening when you reduce or stop training due to illness, injury, or, like here, planned rest or holidays.
So it's different from just a day or two off.
Yes, it refers to the regression of fitness markers from a longer lack of stimulus. And the article gives an overview of the changes. Declines in cardio gains, heart efficiency, carb use, oxygen processing, your VO2 max, MAP, FTP,
Okay.
potential loss of health benefits like better blood pressure or blood sugar control, maybe some weight gain. For strength, a gradual tapering of muscle size, strength, endurance.
And the amount you lose depends on things like how long the break is, your age, and how fit you were to start with, right?
Exactly. Duration is key. Longer breaks mean more loss. Age plays a role. And initial fitness level matters. Which leads to that really interesting kind of counterintuitive point the article makes, the athlete's paradox.
Right. Highly trained people might actually lose more in certain areas. How does that work?
Yeah, it sounds weird. But the article explains it's because they had more pronounced specialized adaptations to begin with. Think a bigger left ventricular mass, LVM, in the heart.
That's the main pumping chamber size.
Yeah, letting it pump more blood per beat, or a much higher VO2 max, peak oxygen use.
Or MAP, maximal aerobic power, or FTP, functional threshold power, those sustained power measures.
Exactly. Because their bodies develop these super specialized, efficient systems for top performance, those systems are also more sensitive when you remove that specific high-level training stimulus.
Ah.
There's just a bigger adaptation like the ventricle size or number of mitochondria to revert from compared to someone starting lower, like a finely tuned race car losing its edge faster when parked than a regular car would. The recreational exerciser loses less proportionally because their starting adaptations weren't as extreme.
Fascinating. More lead adaptation, faster relative regression. Okay, let's get specific with the timelines. The article had that table. Table 1. What happens after just 1 week off?
Cardiovascular fitness, this is where the fastest changes start, especially cellularly, even if you don't feel a huge drop yet. The article points to the most striking immediate change, losing mitochondrial adaptations.
And this is the bit that blew my mind. The article quotes that after just 1 week inactive, muscle mitochondria losses can be as high as 50% of what you gained in the first 5 weeks of training.
It's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Shows that while your performance might hold up okay for a week, the underlying energy machinery in your muscles is already changing shape very quickly. Affects how efficiently they use oxygen.
But crucially, despite this rapid cellular shift, the article emphasizes that overall, bigger picture cardiometrics, your actual measured VO2 max, MAP, FTP, typically show minimal, if any, measurable loss after just 1 week for most people.
Yeah, they cite a meta-analysis finding no statistically significant change in VO2 max or stroke volume in pooled data after 1 week. So the microscopic engine room's changing, but your ability in tests likely holds steady. Measurable drops usually start after 10 days to 2 weeks.
The article also adds an important metabolic detail that happens really fast. Blood sugar levels can rise after just 3 days of inactivity in young, healthy people.
That's significant. Shows that even before your cardio or strength drops noticeably, inactivity impacts metabolic efficiency quickly. Fitness includes blood sugar regulation, and that's sensitive. A subtle early shift.
Okay, so cardio starts shifting cellularly and metabolically fast, but performance holds for about a week. What about strength and muscle mass after 1 week? The article seemed pretty reassuring here.
Very reassuring. It says for strength and muscle, 1 week is largely inconsequential, typically no detrimental or significant loss of gains, visible muscle loss, unlikely even after 2 weeks.
And those neuromuscular connections, the skill of lifting.
Maintained well over short breaks, the article says. The neural pathways controlling activations stayed pretty much intact.
And there was that interesting note about a possible temporary increase in peak power or strength after 7-10 days.
Yeah, sounds odd, but possibly due to recovery from fatigue. If you were training hard, a short break might let your system recover fully, revealing strength that fatigue was hiding.
Okay, so 1 week. Some rapid cellular metabolic shifts, but overall performance, especially strength, holds up well. What about a 2-week break, according to the Sundried.com article?
This is usually when measurable effects on overall fitness start showing up consistently, especially cardio. The article states 10 days to 2 weeks is typically the max before you see moderate, quantifiable cardio detraining. A measurable 2–3% drop in VO2 max, MAP, or FTP can happen in 2 weeks.
And for endurance athletes, the article detailed more significant drops after 2 weeks.
Yes, measurable drops in VO2 max, less time to exhaustion, lower maximal stroke volume. And tellingly, maximal heart rate actually increases during submaximal effort.
Indicating it's less efficient.
Exactly. Heart has to beat faster to deliver the same oxygen because less blood is pumped per beat, and they give specifics on blood volume changes. Circulating blood and plasma down 5–12%, systolic blood volume down 12–20% after 2 weeks.
Those fluid shifts sound significant.
They are. Directly impact the heart's filling and pumping, contributing to lower stroke volume and aerobic capacity. The article also notes left ventricular mass, LVM, that heart muscle adaptation reduces after a week or more, with bigger reductions in highly trained athletes.
What about anaerobic capacity short bursts?
The article notes slight drops in enzyme activity needed for that can start in 3–4 days, but crucially, these bounce back very quickly.
How quickly?
Just 1 or 2 high-intensity sessions when you return, not a long-term worry from a short break.
Okay, shifting to strength and muscle after 2 weeks. The article still says visible muscle loss generally isn't expected for most.
Correct. Overall max strength holds up longer than cardio. However, the article notes studies on specific groups, like endurance athletes, showing significant drops in isokinetic knee extensor strength after 2 weeks, while other measures might be stable.
Isokinetic, that's strength at a constant speed, right? Like on a machine.
Exactly. So it suggests highly specific strength adaptations might be a bit more susceptible than general strength.
Body composition notes after 2 weeks were interesting too. Body mass might increase, but body fat percentage stays stable.
Yeah, and the article even mentions some research suggesting short detraining might paradoxically enhance the anabolic hormone environment and maybe increase lean mass in endurance runners, possibly hormonal recovery or improved muscle sensitivity. Interesting stuff.
So summarizing the 2-week impact from the article, more consistent, measurable decline in general fitness cardio, insulin sensitivity, maybe some specific strength, but substantial noticeable muscle mass loss. Usually takes 4 weeks or more.
This is a really key takeaway from the Sundried.com article. Different fitness bits decline at different rates. Cardio engine room, mitochondria, blood volume changes fast cellularly, leading to measurable performance drops around 2 weeks. But strength and muscle mass, much more resilient over short 1 or 2 week breaks.
That differential rate is so helpful for setting expectations.
Absolutely. Understanding this helps tailor your approach. A 2-week break hits your half marathon time harder than your 1-rep max.
Okay, so you've had your break, maybe did some integrated activity, maybe total rest. The great news from Sundried.com's article is the comeback. How quickly can you get back?
This is where muscle memory becomes your absolute best friend. The article highlights it as the body's remarkable, almost magic ability to recover lost fitness. It's way more than just a saying. It's real biology.
And the article defines it clearly. The inherent ability of muscles to remember prior adaptations and movements allows that rapid regain of strength, power, size when you restart, even after a while off.
And the article explains why long-term structural changes persist in the muscle tissue, plus those neural pathways become efficient again quickly. Even if muscle shrinks a bit, some foundations remain, giving you a head start.
And it's not just strength training, right? The article says similar effect for cardio.
Yep. Heart, lungs, mitochondria, they retain some memory of being efficient. Upon returning to cardio, you recover previous capacity way faster than it took to build it initially. An inherent biological advantage. Faster trajectory back.
Let's look at the timelines for regaining cardio fitness, using Table 2 from the article. After just a 1–2 week break.
Recovery is typically super swift. Many feel back to normal in cardio within days to a week. Remember those enzyme reductions after 3–4 days off? Article says they reverse quickly with just 1 or 2 high-intensity sessions back.
And the article gave that general guideline for amateurs.
Right. Budget about 1 week of retraining for every week taken off cardio. 1 week off. About 1 week to feel fully recovered. 2 weeks off. About 2 weeks. Useful rule of thumb from the source.
What about seeing significant improvements starting back?
Article suggests substantial improvements within the first 3 to 4 weeks of regular aerobic workouts. Because your cardiovascular system, especially the heart, adapts pretty quickly. You'll see rapid gains in stroke volume and cardiac output.
And reaching full regain, maybe even getting better than before.
Takes longer, article suggests typically around 3 to 4 months of consistent training post-break, influenced by initial fitness, comeback intensity, genetics, age, health, length of break.
Oh.
Also, how long your consistent training history was before the break matters too.
Okay, now regaining strength and muscle. Article suggests this is often even more resilient.
Yes. After a short 1-2 week break, minimal impact on strength, especially for experienced lifters. Regain is remarkably rapid, often days to a few weeks. Article cites research showing strength holds for up to 3 weeks before noticeable drops.
And there was that rule of thumb for strength and muscle regain, too.
Yeah, the widely accepted one takes about half as much time as the break duration to fully regain lost strength and muscle size. 6-week break. Maybe 3 weeks training to get back. They even mentioned studies showing recovery in just 8 weeks after long 12, 16-week breaks.
What progress happens in those first few weeks backlifting?
Article says modest but noticeable strength improvements in the first 3 to 4 weeks, training 2-3 times a week.
And the article explains why strength comes back fast. It's mainly neuromuscular.
Exactly. Your nervous system quickly reestablishes efficient pathways. Your brain gets better at recruiting muscle fibers again. Rapid strength gains before big changes in muscle size.
For substantial progress in actual muscle mass and tone.
Takes longer. Article suggests visible changes within 2 to 3 months with a progressive plan. Reaching and surpassing previous muscle mass often needs several months, maybe 3-6 months or longer, depending on factors.
And there was that more conservative guideline just for rebuilding mass after total inactivity.
Yes, they note, for every week of complete inactivity could take about 3 weeks to fully recover lost muscle mass. Highlights that while strength returns fast neurally, rebuilding actual tissue is slower than the simple half-time rule might suggest. Strength gain is fast, size gain takes more time and consistent effort.
That difference is key. Strength fast, size slower. Okay, knowing you can come back quickly is super motivating, but how do you do it safely? Avoid injury. The Sundried.com article has final strategies for that.
This is the final crucial piece from the article. Making your return strategic and safe. Minimize injury risk. Maximize comeback gains.
And the absolute most critical starting point the article hammers home is, do not jump straight back in at your old intensity or volume.
Non-negotiable for safety. The article explains your body has detrained. You need to let it readapt gradually. Start low. Slowly increase duration, intensity, volume week by week. Allows muscles, tendons, nerves to adapt safely. Dramatically cuts injury risk.
And for longer breaks, the article gave a specific starting percentage.
Yeah, breaks over about 4 weeks. Advisable to return at roughly 50-75% of previous volume, gradually increasing over several weeks. A concrete, conservative start after a longer layoff.
And focus on technique from day one.
Absolutely. Prioritize proper form, maybe lighter weights, fewer reps initially. Article stresses.
Yeah.
Listen closely to your body. Pay attention to pain. Adjust. Prevent overexertion, excessive soreness that could stop your comeback.
And let's hit that tendon elasticity point again. It seems vital.
It's so important it needs repeating. Article highlights tendons lose elasticity, slower to adapt than muscles. Gradual increase in weight intensity is vital for tendons to regain strength and elasticity. Rushing back heavy with stiff tendons, prime way to get injured tears, etc. Key insight. Don't let muscle memory write checks your tendons can't cash.
Good analogy. The article also touches on holistic recovery during the comeback.
Yes, supporting your body outside the gym is key for rebuilding. Adequate nutrition for fuel and repair, enough quality sleep, general recovery like stretching, foam rolling, all critical components the article supports for a successful return.
And they mention getting guidance could be useful.
Definitely. Consulting a fitness pro or PT can be smart, especially after a long break, or if you're unsure how to structure a safe comeback plan for you.
Finally, circling back to those psychological benefits and connecting them to the comeback.
The article emphasizes those planned breaks fight boredom, renew motivation. That mental freshness carries over, makes you more enthusiastic coming back, optimizes long-term adherence, enjoyment. A calculated break isn't just minimizing physical loss, it's smart strategy against burnout, fostering mental resilience for long-term success.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. Drawing from the great conclusion in the Sundried.com article, the decision to train on holiday. It's personal. Balancing relaxation and consistency.
Exactly. And what we've learned from their analysis is, yeah, short breaks do start detraining, especially cardiocellularly, really fast. But the overall performance losses, often minimal for 1-2 weeks, particularly strength and muscle. Your body doesn't just reset overnight.
And the power of muscle memory that was so encouraging from the article. Lost fitness can be regained efficiently, often way faster than it took to build. Your body really does remember.
It's a huge takeaway.
Mhm.
Ultimately, the article suggests short, planned breaks, far from wrecking progress, can be incredibly valuable. Physical recovery, preventing overtraining, refreshing mental motivation. It all contributes to long-term enjoyment and sticking with it.
So the final advice from the Sundried.com article really seems to be, whether you do structured workouts, integrate activity, or take complete rest, listen to your body. Set realistic expectations based on the science. Prioritize overall well-being.
Yes. Approach your holiday strategically, flexibly, ensures the time off genuinely enhances your long-term fitness journey, doesn't hinder it.
And all these fantastic evidence-based insights, the surprising cell changes, the reassuring muscle memory, the recovery timelines, came straight from that comprehensive article we explored from sundried.com. Such a clear, practical, guilt-free perspective.
It really is a great resource. And thinking about everything we've unpacked from it, here's a final thought for you to consider, building on the material. Given how resilient the body is, and the clear psychological benefits of a break, could strategically planned recovery periods, maybe even outside of holidays, be just as fundamental a part of a sustainable long-term fitness plan as the training itself?
Ooh, that's interesting. Planned downtime as part of the plan, not just an interruption. Something to definitely mull over.
Something to think about as you plan your next break, holiday or not.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. Hopefully these insights and strategies from Sundried.com's article give you some solid ground as you navigate your own holiday plans. Enjoy the break, however you choose to spend it.
Safe travels and recharge well.
We'll catch you on the next one.